In honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, the honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. I had to do this lesson in the spirit. We don't like to really bother with these type of lessons a lot. We like to get more into prophecy and more important topics. But you know what? Brothers is actually coming from the world and they're in these particular mind states, right? So, it's good for us to make these lessons. I learned a lot from the apostle elders making these type of lessons, when I first came into the truth, speaking about certain things concerning these things, the women and, the reality of things before this red pill movement was even a thing. The apostles and elders were speaking about it first, the elders of Great Millstone, apostles and elders of Great Millstone. So anyways, this movie, The Last American Virgin, which was made in 1982 or was released in 1982. This was a good movie. It was a good movie because it showed the reality of being a so-called nice guy. All right. And we're going to play that. And first we're going to look up the word nice. Okay. We're going to look up the word nice first and foremost. Salakia. Nice etymology, right? I want the actual etymology. I want the full definition. The word nice comes from the Latin word nicius, which means ignorant. Okay, ignorant. Okay, what's another word for ignorant? Naive. Okay, when you're young, you're ignorant to the nature of women. Okay, you're ignorant to the nature of women, and therefore you believe what is told of you, which is they want a nice guy. You give them flowers, you acquiesce to her wishes, and and you'll have a fairy tale ending. Okay, that's ridiculous, man. Okay, that's ridiculous, and that's not how things work. And if you ever had any experience with women, you would know that's not what attracts women. Okay. I want to get something here. And it's all based upon the fact that you're ignorant. You don't know. Okay. This is Hosea 4:6, and it reads, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High, the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children." Okay, and the bottom line is Jake lacks knowledge. All right, Jake lacks knowledge. He lacks wisdom. He lacks understanding of the scriptures. Okay, because if you understand the scriptures, what was the woman created for? Let's go to Genesis. The woman wasn't created for you to worship her, to follow her every whim. No, actually, it's the exact contrary, the exact opposite. If you understand the scriptures, this is Genesis 3:16. It says, "Unto the woman," right? This is after she took the fruit, right? And which was not an actual fruit. Okay, it was philosophies, right? And basically, she gave that to Adam because Adam was in a simp like mind state. You have to learn from Adam's mistakes. You have to learn from King Solomon's mistakes. You got to learn from Samson's mistakes, right? Scriptures say that these things are written for our learning, right? You fall into the same traps. That means you're not getting the knowledge and gleaming the wisdom from the scriptures. This is Genesis 3:16. It says, "Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband. So their desire is supposed to be to us. Okay, when they have a husband, their desire is supposed to be to us. Our desire is not supposed to be to them and to making sure they're always 100% happy. No, they're supposed to be making sure we're happy. Sure, if you love your wife, you're gonna make sure she's happy, but first and foremost, she's supposed to be making sure you're happy. That's the first thing. Okay. And he shall rule over thee, and you're supposed to rule over them. You're supposed to have a dominance over them. Okay. I'll speak for myself, right? But I'm sure I'll speak for myself first and foremost. The most attractive thing to me is submission, 150%. Okay. And I'm sure that other brothers will back me up on that. The most attractive thing a woman could be is submissive. I would take a submissive 6. A submissive 6 is more attractive to me than a how would you say this? A uncooperative, masculine, overbearing 10. That would turn me off. Okay? That turns me off. All right? And it says, and unto Adam, and I've always been like that. I've always been like that, even in the world. Okay. And unto Adam, he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, meaning what? He was in that simp spirit. He was following after his wife. You're not supposed to follow after your wife. Your wife is supposed to follow after you. Okay. And has eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Right? So Adam, what? A curse came upon Adam for what? For being in that type of spirit. Right? We ain't supposed to be following behind these women. A lot of these women have it backwards, especially the so-called black woman. She's the most backwards out of all of these women on the planet Earth, and that's a fact. Okay, she literally thinks you're there to serve her. That's her mindset. Exact opposite. So she doesn't even know what it's like, what it is to be a woman. Okay, she doesn't have the first clue of what it is to be a woman. See, these other women of these other nations, they have somewhat of an idea, but they're just being rebellious. But the so-called black woman, she doesn't even have the slightest clue. This is the word for hearken. It says shamai, right, which means to listen. To hear, listen, obey. You ain't supposed to be obeying these chicks, okay, and serving these chicks. They're supposed to be serving you. This is why they were put on the earth, okay, to hear, right, to hear of concern, to hear, have power, to hear with attention or interest. Listen. It doesn't mean that if she says things, you don't, she's venting to you, you don't listen to her, or whatever, or if she makes a good suggestion, you don't take heed to what she may be suggesting, but you have to be the judge to know whether it's good or bad. Okay, you don't just say, "Oh yeah, she said it, so it's true." No, you say, "Listen, I'm the head of this thing. I'm the captain of this ship. I'll decide whether what you're saying is valid or not." Okay, it says to consent, agree to grant request. Right? Yeah. Every whim you granting her request. Right? You're doing what she wants to do. That makes you a servant. That makes you a subordinate. That's why they don't respect men like that. It says to listen to, yield to obey, be obedient. They're supposed to be obedient to you. You're not supposed to be obedient to them. This is the madness, man. And it's really a disgusting sight to see a man in that kind of state. Because the Lord made Eve. He created Eve for what purpose? What purpose did he create Eve for, man? It's like you women got to understand why you're even here on the earth. Why do you have breath? Straight up. This is Genesis 2:18. And Yahweh power said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him, or an helper. Let's look up the word helpmeet or helper, man. Izar, which means help, secure, one who helps. You know, you got the so-called black woman. She has a saying that that if a woman is serving her husband, making food and things like this, and this is why you should just try to avoid them to the best of your ability, man. Get you a nice Latina chick or, you know, some other nation, you know. But anyways, but don't go and follow their gods or their ways, right? But anyways, it says basically they have a saying that if they're doing these things for their husband, they're serving their husband and whatever, and they're doing it on video, they'll be in the comment section in droves, by the way, saying, oh, you're just the help. Oh, you're just the help. I'm not the help. You're the help. You know, I could never be the help. Blah, 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 blah. Which this is why women are created on the earth. If you're not the help, you're really not a woman. If you're not the help of your husband, you're really not even a woman. You're not even worthy to be called a woman. You see? Because that's the order of things, man. That's the order of things, right? Let's go to what Paul said, man. All right, because Paul had to break it down for them heathenistic Corinthians, because the Corinthians were being heathenistic. They were following after the Greek customs, man. Heavy, to the point where men were sleeping with their fathers' wives and all kind of madness, man. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. It says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Most High. So just like the Lord Yahushua is our head, right? These women we are the head of these women. Okay? Just like Yahushua is our head, we are the head of these women. Right? So what does that tell you? We serve Yahushua, so they are to serve us. You see? If you got a husband, right, you're supposed to be serving that man. And if you get that feeling of, oh man, I don't feel right, you know, I'm serving him, he looking at me as a slave. If you get a feeling like, I don't like it, well, guess what? That's a demon on you. That's a demon inside of you, man. And you better learn to rebuke Satan when that comes up. Okay, that feeling of, why did he tell me to do it like that? Like I'm his slave. Well, a helper is another way of saying slave. Okay, if you want to say it's a polite way of saying slave, whatever that means. When you look up in the Black's Law Dictionary, the old Black's Law dictionaries, it tells you that the word employee is not even polite. It's equivalent to slave. It's the same thing. The employee and boss is a slave or master relationship. Okay? You just happen to get a paycheck now. That's all. That's all. In the ancient world, you used to get, leave with a severance package, if you will, after 7 years of being a slave. So there was wages paid to slaves back then too. Right? It doesn't mean that, you're a slave, that the husband is pulling up, punching you in the face, or your master's pulling up, punching you in the face and, kicking you on the floor because you burnt the toast. No, that's a deranged individual. That's someone who's not well in the mind to begin with, right? And the thing about it is this: you women have the choice nowadays. You women have 100% choice to who you want to deal with. Okay? And I'm going to show you, they don't choose the nice guy. They don't choose the guy who's going to treat her the best and worship the ground she walks on and whatever, even just be overly caring. They don't like those type of guys. You don't even have to be that much of a weak guy, but it's just, if you care too much. If you like them, they don't want to deal with you. You got to show them a level of I don't give a fuck. You got to have that level of I don't give a damn. You understand? Excuse my French. All right? I'm going to play this real quick. And like I said, The Last American Virgin, right, released in 1982, was actually a good movie. It shows you the reality of things, right?
Do you have a boyfriend? No. Well, thanks again, Gary.
Imagine being young, full of hope, and madly in love. You do everything you can to be the good guy, the knight in shining armor, and then reality hits. Today we're taking a deep dive into The Last American Virgin, an 80s gem that hits harder than you would expect. This movie isn't just another teen rom-com. It's a crash course in heartbreak and the brutal reality of the nice guy trap. The Last American Virgin takes us down the road, showing us how painful it can be when the nice guy realizes that love isn't about playing by the rules. But here's the twist. Maybe he didn't deserve sympathy in the first place. After all, we're talking about Gary, a guy who steps into the role of the reliable simp jutsu master without a second thought. So why is it that the Garys of the world find themselves sidelined while the Ricks seem to thrive? Get ready, because The Last American Virgin delivers some raw red pill truths that are as relevant now as they were back then.
Well, before we get into it, I've never actually seen this movie. So I think I'm going to go ahead and see where I can find it and watch it.
Here's Gary, our protagonist. He's got a big heart, a job delivering pizzas, and a major crush on Karen. Now Karen, she's all about Rick, the guy with the good looks, the confidence, and the unapologetic bad boy swag. You know, the kind of guy who treats life like one endless hookup. Karen's attraction to Rick is immediate, fierce, and totally out of Gary's league. But Gary's got his hopes up because he thinks being the nice guy somehow gives him the edge. Classic mistake. Rick isn't trying to win her over with kindness. He's not concerned with her problems. He's not giving her emotional support. And he's certainly not offering any financial assistance. But there's an undeniable spark there. A raw, instinctual attraction that doesn't care about nice guy qualities. Attraction isn't about logic, and Karen's eyes are set on Rick from the start. Tough news for Gary, but he hasn't realized it yet. So why does Gary even bother? What keeps him so dedicated to someone who's clearly out of reach? Well, he's about to find out exactly what happens when you confuse kindness with entitlement.
Well, if I had to take a guess, what happened in this movie was the nice guy acted like she was better than him, and the guy she was actually attracted to acted like he was better than her.
Well, this is not really a spoiler alert, but it's just, kind of giving somewhat of an idea. Basically, the guy, Gary, which is the nice guy, he was, trying to do everything for her and show that he cares and so on and so forth. And there was a major event that happened where that guy did her dirty, like in a serious way, basically, treated her like SHI to the T, right? And Gary came to clean up, and I mean, he went all in. When I say he came to clean up, he went all in, right? To get this guy's sloppy set, to try to get a chance at this, to have a chance at this man's sloppy seconds. And yeah, let's just say there was no happy ending there for Gary. But spoiler alert, she went back to that guy, so that's just to show you that nice guy spirit, in the women's spirit, they know that they want a man to be dominant. They want a man to be to not care, to know his worth. Okay, that's why he was walking. You can see he was walking around with a particular confidence that Rick got. Like it's about me, right? But Gary was walking around with that mindset. Oh, it's all about her. You see, that's backwards. That's out of order. Okay. I did a lesson the other day about what the precious sons of Zion, right? We are the precious sons of Zion, right? So act like it. Don't act like these weak jakes out here, man, because these jakes are very weak, and the reason that these women don't respect them is because they don't respect themselves at the end of the day, There's a reason the Heavenly Father, he asks for fear. He doesn't ask for just, just love. He asks for fear. The Apostle Gabar deals with that a lot. Okay. You type in fear of the Lord. Okay. Show you how much times that pops up. Because with fear comes respect. Right? And it's not to I don't mean fear in the sense of them, you punching them in the head. I'm not talking about that type of fear. I'm talking about, in this case, in this world, we're talking about the fear of what? Losing you, of you moving on to someone else, right? And I'm going to show you another example with this damn Remy Martin and Papoose, man. Listen, man. Papoose was simping heavy for that woman, right? Oh, Salakia, I was looking for fear of the Lord. It says, this is Deuteronomy 3 and 2. No, I'm gonna have to go to 6 and 2, Salakia. I wanted to read through some of them, but let's read this just to get the point. This is Deuteronomy 6 and 1. It says, now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh your power commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear Yahweh thy power, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son's son, and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. So the Lord is asking for fear. When you go to Proverbs, the 1st chapter, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Most High, right? This is Proverbs 1 and 7. It says, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Okay? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Okay? And one thing you're not supposed to have is have no other God before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? You're not supposed to have any other God before him. Okay? You're supposed to worship him and worship his son. And that's it. And you worship him through worshiping his son. You see? So if you putting these women on a pedestal, the scriptures say that the Heavenly Father is a jealous power, and Jake worships these women. I don't care, even if they're not simps per se. These Jakes still worship these women because their whole life is revolved around these women. I see Jakes every day, and Jakes, their life is revolved around these women, man. Everything they do, every day they think about, is about women. I get these women. That's idolatry, man. That falls into idolatry, man. Okay. Where's the thoughts of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man? Anyways, I want to go into the whole thing with Remy Ma and Papoose, man. This chick allegedly cheated on this dude, and this dude was holding her down for the longest time, man. I don't know which one I can use, man. Doesn't really matter. I think they're all saying the same thing, right? Which this was old, but it gets the point out. Let's run this. He's showing admiration and tell the world how his woman the greatest. Put you down in prison for 6 years. I know it was nice. He cried big tears. He's still biting on the biggest accomplishment. So for 6 years, Papoose been going to go visit this woman, while she was locked up or whatever the case may be, every day, to the point she had to tell him to stop visiting, or to like that she's okay or whatever. So, he was all for her. He said I never cheated the 6 years and whatever, because he was in that mindset. She's the one. And I tell brothers, man, that she's the one spirit. That's not it, man. That's a dangerous mindset to get into, because you'll meet a chick and be in that spirit of she's the one. And what happens is you got all these expectations. You got all these expectations for a fickle creature, right? Like one of the ancient Stoics said, a woman is a changeable and fickle thing, right? You got all these expectations for a changeable and fickle thing, and that could lead to real emotional damage. So don't be in that spirit of she's the one, Hey, man, years ago, I was in that spirit. Years ago, I was in that naive spirit, right? I was never an overt simp like that. I was never like that. I always knew women were full of shit for a lot of time, for the most part. I knew that as a young man. I knew by watching my mother, she'll speak to somebody. I love my mother. You know what I'm saying? Not speaking negatively, but I'm speaking the truth, man. This is what women do in general. They'll smile in someone's face and then they'll go talk shit about them on the phone. So I knew they were full of it back then. But either way, same way, you're still naive to the to women until you really till you experience it. I mean, you could hear certain things from the brothers, which you should learn from that, but experience is the best teacher, and yeah, so you get in that spirit of, oh, she's the one and this and that, and you're looking at your phone every 5 minutes, and so that's a demonic spirit to be. That's not a good spirit. You got to be in that nonchalant, I don't care, whatever, she hollers, she doesn't holler, doesn't matter to me, I got things to do. And then when she hollers, I'll get back to her when I need to do a lesson, I need to do this and that, I'll get back to her when I have the time. That's a better mindset to be in, man. Okay, that's more of a manly mindset. That's more of a man that's following y'all by Shemi Awashai. Not that looking at the phone every 2 seconds. And a lot of that, anyway, I don't want to get too deep into it, but that's just not the right spirit to be in, okay? Let's listen to this, man.
Front row giving you big cheers. Now y'all got a beautiful baby girl who's oh so amazing. You'd be damned if you lose you to this bozo with braces. The world ain't never supposed to know what you and me going through. Hey, the world ain't never supposed to know what you and me going through. But this behind closed doors running this mouth like a hoe supposed to do. Them niggas making blogs and YouTubes, people arguing if those posts is true. Because them teams in the same room outlets, they only know you.
Damn, y'all remember when Geechee Gotti exposed the hell out of Remy Ma for cheating on Papoose with Easy the Block Captain? Child, none of us had ever seen Remy so humble when Geechee was going at her with shade after shade after shade after shade. And this affair is what reportedly caused the breakup between Remy and Papoose.
Like, I don't give just tell him stop spewing the business. Right. If niggas found out you was that could really ruin your image. We're talking Barack and Michelle, Pap and Rim. Y'all the poster child symbol for black love. Nigga wouldn't even think that y'all marriages still had to go through them stages. Every interview, he show his admiration and tell the world how he think his woman the greatest. That nigga held you down in prison for 6 years.
Yeah, because he put her on a pedestal. He put her on a pedestal, and basically he exalted her to the heavens, and this is how she dealt with him. And allegedly she had cheated with him with one person, she cheated with him with a couple people. So now the reports are, according to the reports, he done moved on. But you see, what I'm trying to show you is that type of spirit, that woman worship, simp, weirdo, nice guy spirit, that don't do it. That don't do it for them. Okay? If he was more nonchalant, guess what? Remy would have been more chasing his validation than anything else. And that's the way that it's supposed to be, right? Which these N-dubs are demonic either way it goes. But, hey, man, this spirit is not it. That's the point I'm making here.
Well, allegedly, Remy is the one punching the air right now after Papoose seemingly moved on with a much younger woman. Word on the street is that Papoose is currently dating a boxer, but he's just trying to keep the relationship low-key so that it can have a chance of survival. According to sources, this is actually the first time since the breakup with Remy that Papoose has been happy. But allegedly, Remy is not too happy about this new relationship because even though she was also spotted with a new beau, deep down, she still had hopes that she and Papoose would eventually get back together. And that's why recently, Remy has been running her mouth like crazy.
I never cheated on nobody, so I don't know what y'all talking about.
Anyways, whatever the case, whatever, we really don't care about those type of things. But the point is just that spirit is not it. You do all those type of things and they really don't respect you. Okay, they really don't respect you for those things. For the most part, and I'm not saying that to treat them like shit, but have that enough respect for yourself to know that you're the prize, to know that you are the one of the precious sons of Zion and that you're the one that's most important, most valuable. Okay. You value your woman, but you do it in order. Scripture says to respect her as the weaker vessel, so you got to do it in order. You got to put things in the proper perspective. Right, so brothers can get some balance and understanding. So, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. Shalom to you, Akim, on the comment board. I want to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachak, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to Akim out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. And Salakia for a couple of those videos that were low quality from the StreamYard. I'm trying to get this thing sorted out, man. Because, hey, man, the StreamYard's been messing with me recently, Satan. But with that, I'll say shalom.